This is Good Morning Sandy.
All right, let's talk about what's happening with our drought, taking a toll on all of us here in California, but especially our trees.
Yeah, if you look at some trees, they look like they're browning and things are going wrong with the tree, but you can take the stress away from these trees, and Ed Lenderman has some tips for us. Hey, Ed.
Yes, and our water districts are making the point that, yes, you may have to let your lawn go and go brown and it will come back. But a tree such as this, I mean, how many years does it take to get this tree? 25, 30, 40 years to get this tree the size that it is. And they do not want us to lose our trees for a number of reasons. If you're live with us at 8 o'clock, you know that we were joined by Mike Erhammer of the Helix Water District, and Mike is a senior public relations rep for them, and Mike was explaining to us how you can look for stress in your tree. It's relatively obvious, but if you're letting your lawn go, and you know, we're encouraging you, please do not water, etc., 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 but we don't want your tree to go, and this is what you're going to look for. But at the same time, Michael, okay, trees are not just aesthetics here. This is about our climate. This is about global climate.
Right. Well, even right now, trees will reduce your energy use, reduce your irrigation demand, shade your community, reduce the temperature, and also raise your property values. So trees are valuable right now, and as we look at climate change, it's going to be very important to keep our cities cool.
All right. Now, again, you go ahead and let your lawn go, but you don't have to let your tree grow. And oh, by the way, it doesn't take gallons and gallons of water. Show us what we have here, and you can get this at any home goods kind of store. This is a drip, or what do you call this?
This is called a soaker hose.
Okay, soaker hose, kind of like a drip irrigation.
Yeah, and it literally just emits water out the sides of the hose at a rate of just 1 gallon per hour. Now, if you look at the sprinklers that water your grass, they let out water at about a gallon or 2 per minute. So this is really slow watering. And
we encourage you to do this.
Yes, that small hole right there is the reason that the water doesn't come out of this hose very quickly.
All right, now you have it spread around the tree. You know, Ed would take the hose and spray it on the trunk. No, 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 no.
No, it's important to water a tree at the edge of the canopy, which is called a tree's drip line. The roots are not right next to the trunk, and in fact, you really want to keep a tree's trunk dry to avoid causing it to rot, and which will damage the tree and potentially kill it. Your roots that take in the water are out at the edge of the canopy, sometimes even beyond the edge of the canopy. So it's a good idea to put a soaker hose or a drip line, which is just like a soaker hose. It's a drip irrigation piece, and water not for minutes but for hours. Just once, maybe twice a week, 2 to 3 hours at a time to get that water down 2 to 3 feet into your soil throughout the root zone of the tree.
All right, even if your tree is stressed, you can save it, and we want you to save it simply because it has all about climate. Now, one thing we didn't talk about at 8 o'clock was mulch.
Yeah, it's important even after you get your soaker hose or your drip line down around your tree, cover it with 3 to 4 inches of mulch. That'll actually shade the soil. It'll keep it cool during the heat of the day, reduce evaporation, and let the water stay in the soil a little bit longer.
And one more time, and it bears repeating, while you're letting your lawn go, we don't want you to let your tree grow, but because that affects everything. And oh, by the way, it takes decades for a tree. You know, we can get our lawn back, especially after El Nino, we hope. We can get the lawn back anytime, and that's not really. And oh, by the way, the lawn's taking up way too much in terms of irrigation. We do not want you losing your trees.
That's correct. You know, with the lawn, you can lay down some seed this winter just before a rainstorm. Do that repeatedly, you'll have a new lawn next spring. But if you lose a tree, especially a mature shade tree, it's going to take 25 to 100 years to plant a new tree and get it back up to the size that it was. And as we talked about, we need shade trees in our cities.
Yeah, very quickly. And thank you, Michael. It's been valuable information. Michael, and some people were up in Pasadena. It was 102 degrees up there on the freeway. You went onto a side street, lovely shaded trees in Pasadena, and it was 82 degrees on the street. Yes. This is about climate too. It's not just about comfort and that sort of thing. We need our trees. So you're encouraged to let your lawn go. Do not let your tree go. And oh, by the way, you know, you're not wasting gallons and gallons of water when you use one of these soaker hoses, okay? This is what we want you to do. All righty? save our trees for obvious reasons. We're back to you guys.
All right,
that's
Ed.
great advice. All right, thanks very much, Ed.
As a girl who lived in